Hello everybody. Welcome to this Zoom live session. And I'm so excited because, after much planning and trouble with execution, we have finally figured out how to have a meeting on Zoom and then how to live cast it live. Oh, am I mute? No, I'm not mute. How to live cast it on Facebook. So hopefully next time we'll be better prepared. Okay, so let me, if you give me a second, so the person who I'm going to be talking to today is my dear friend Mandar Apte. And let me start his video. There he is. Hi, Mandar.
Vandana, great.
Finally, we did it.
We did it.
That's right. Awesome. So I'm so happy, Mandar, to chat with you. We've spoken a couple of times over the phone, and I'm just so impressed with all the work that you have done. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. I have a lot of other friends whom I've spoken with. So, Mandar, let's start. So first of all, let me tell you what is the reason why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, that's more important.
Okay. So, I have so many wonderful friends, and I know so many of them who are doing such amazing work. And you are one of them. And I really feel like this needs to get out, be known to more and more people, and so you were one of the first people who came to my mind, and I thought the world should know, other friends should know the kind of work that you're doing.
So Mandar, now that we have a lot of time.
You are so right. So Mandar, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, Vandana, firstly, we inspire each other. So whatever I have done little bit that inspires people, there are many people that inspire me. So we inspire each other. And you don't know when, जैसे बोलते हैं कीड़ा, when the कीड़ा will come in your head and you will put your time and effort to do it. Like this itself is a good idea, right? This itself, what you're doing is curating a good media stream where people are looking for positive stories, and sometimes all we need is a positive story to nourish ourselves, heal ourselves,
yes,
and transform ourselves. We don't have to do exactly what that person is doing. So thank you for taking the initiative and actually finding the time to make it happen. I came to the US 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I used to read the Hardy Boys when I was growing up.
Uh-huh.
And since then, the dream was to meet the Hardy Boys and solve crime and solve mysteries. Mm-hmm. That's how I remember my 7th, 8th, 9th grade summer vacations.
Huh.
And I lucked out. I was good at studies, so I got the good grades. I got the opportunity to come here for graduate studies 25 years ago. And I never thought I would end up in South Central Los Angeles doing the kind of work that I'm doing. So it's very humbling from, a middle class background to work hard, but actually it was also work smart. I used to play every day. So I never took such a burden of studying exams. My parents, they still live in Mumbai, and it's I would say very humbling to know where the background they have come from and the sacrifices they must have made to put their time into their children's education. It's very humbling. 25 years have gone by since I've come here, and Corona gives the time out for reflection, because we are all caught up in our life. Everything is go, project, deliverable, right?
So
but
true.
Now you are forced to pause.
Yep. So tell me what inspired you to make, so so everybody knows, Mandar has made this amazing documentary, which is called From India with Love. Mandar, tell me, what inspired you to do this?
I mean, again, there is no one inspiration. It was a realization while I was reading Dr. Martin Luther King's autobiography, which, we in India never study. Like, we don't get exposed to civil rights movement and Martin Luther King. We just know him as a personality that was Mahatma Gandhi's follower in America. Right? So 4 years ago, this month, I was reading his autobiography and read about a chapter of around 30 pages of his travel to India. Title of the chapter was Pilgrimage to India. The opening sentence was something like, to any other country, I would have gone as a tourist, but to India, I have come as a pilgrim. And it deeply touched me. I didn't know that this man had physically come to the land of India. I did not know this at all. So I called one of my American friends. I call her a pollinator. She knows so many people, so many connections she has. So I called her. She's in Washington, D.C. And I said, Sarah, do you know about this? And no, not many Americans also know about the physical trip to India that he had made.
Martin
Luther King Jr. had made. And, like an engineer, you put a hypothesis. The hypothesis I had was he had traveled for 5 weeks. Now, nobody goes anywhere for 5 weeks, right? We don't go anywhere for 5 weeks, especially when he was busy during those times. And the second thing I had observed was MLK went to India in 1959. So Mahatma Gandhi had died, so they never met each other. But we all know how it is written, and he has said that Gandhi has inspired him. So that was the real inspiration for me that day. Is, my God, it was not a Starbucks chat between the two men, the two legends, like, dude, how did you teach me something, right? There was nothing like that. But it was a hypothesis that the land of India, the people of India, and the culture of India, when he had immersed himself, gave him that realization of what is ahimsa, what is non-violence. And it's a hypothesis, of course. But if you connect the dots, that Martin Luther King Jr. has appreciated his trip. He has appreciated the people he has met. And he, you can say, has gotten a North Star of a new way of leading through that trip. So my friend Sarah said, America needs another journey. So she said, why don't you do it? You are already there. I was on a holiday. And so she said, yeah, let's do it. So basically all you need to bring any idea to life, right? You just need one person who says, do it. Like the confidence that she showed and the resonance that she showed was I would say, the second building block to how it happened. So we basically reached out to many, many victims of violence. And it was a scramble, it was a hustle. Subah utho, call. Subah utho, find people, call. Because of the time difference, my evenings and mornings were spent on talking to people in the US. And 6 people said yes, they will be part of this endeavor. The endeavor was, if today's India, if today's people of India, today's culture and wisdom of India can be applied, can it be applied? So 6 people came, and that day I said, if their karma is to come, why should I say no? I had not thought of 6 people. I thought, let's try with 1 or 2. That was the initial concept. So in that scramble, I ended up paying for their journey, and it was just a feeling of whitewater rafting. You are just in the whitewater and you're just
going with it,
going with the flow. And luckily, my job at Shell was as an investor of a early stage incubator. So during my day job, I was meeting people who were a little out there. in this, I had become that person. So I knew that whatever I was doing was an outlier. It was like, okay. So these 6 people are they are brave because they trusted a phone call from somebody in India they did not know. And
it was a huge leap of faith for them.
It was a huge leap of faith. Like, I would not have done what they did. Within 10 days, they dropped their schedule and they came to India on a FaceTime call.
Wow.
Right. So, especially parents like the Sandy Hook parent.
Yeah.
Nobody should go through such an experience, but how she is so profound and so active in bringing the learning on social emotional skills that are not there in education in the US. And the kind of like activism that people are doing coming out of trauma, and I felt really humbled. And so I went to receive all of them at the airport. And usually that is not done, right? So usually here nobody comes to the airport, but in India our culture is anybody is coming, we go to the airport to receive. So for me, they were like family. So that first day when Scarlett Lewis, especially, she saw me at the airport receiving her, she was shocked. She was like, whoa, I didn't expect this. I said, this is how we treat our family members, right? So that is how the film was made. In the first 10 days, I looked for these participants. The next 10 days, I looked for a camera crew. And the next 10 days was that 10-day journey. So I feel really blessed that, I was working, I had a corporate life at that time. And after coming from this experience, I could not work there anymore. It was suffocating. I had to bring this film to life.
I'm going to ask you to hold on there because I would like to share a small trailer of the movie so everybody can also see what we are talking about.
Yeah.
Sharing the... Okay, let's start.
This time, gunfire aimed at elementary school children. There are 27 victims, 20 children, 7 adults.
Violent weekend in Chicago has left 11 people dead and 60 wounded in shootings across the city.
Then at 8:45, just a mile from City Hall, shots ring out.
The person who has influenced my life in terms of action more than anybody is Mahatma Gandhi.
I fear that I will bury one of my sons.
Kid who had a bad childhood, who was in a wanted the whole world to feel that pain.
One of my children dying, being brutally murdered.
Being here in India for this time has been spaciousness, slow down.
It's the rebirth, baby.
All right. So we have just about 8 minutes remaining in this meeting. So I want to quickly ask you a couple of, how they do the rapid fire questions, Mandar?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So Mandar, tell me so first of all, let me see if I asked all the questions that I wanted to ask you. And yes, so tell me, what are your okay, let's do 3. What are your 3 favorite books to read? I know I just saw your eyes go big there. 5 is a lot.
3 favorite books?
Yes.
I recently reread Tuesdays with Maury. So that's a very, I would say, humbling story of a teacher and a student.
Yeah.
The other book that I read last month, title is called Originals. It's by a professor at Wharton. His name is Adam Grant. And the third book, which is a little of an outlier, but it's one of the best books I have read as somebody in the innovation world. It's called Ignore Everybody.
Ignore Everybody. Okay.
Yeah, and it's available on, as a PDF online.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the
maybe
theme of the book is very simple. Like whenever you have an idea, most people will say, "Bakwas hai." That's where you need to learn this ignore everybody skill.
Got it. Wonderful. 3 of the top Facebook pages that you like or no?
3 Facebook pages. I don't go on Facebook pages actually.
You don't go on Facebook at all? Okay, then tell me 3 of your favorite movies.
3 favorite movies. My first movie that I saw when I was in USA still remains one of my favorite ones, Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
The second is I'm a big Star Wars fan, so pick up any Star Wars. And the third one, I would say, I mean, there are many, but I liked Piku. The Hindi movie. It was hilarious for me.
I get some idea about your sense of humor then. Okay, so tell me, what is your dream?
My dream right now is to create a production house that will look at soulful, purposeful stories and media. And I'm working on a TV show right now that will look at can we promote peace by immersing people in journeys that help them to discover themselves, and by challenging them to step up the game. So I'm currently beyond their comfort zone, of course. Yes, correct, absolutely correct. Yeah, and through those stories, it will hopefully inspire other people that hey, I can also do it.
Yes, so true. Good. So, what is the message you would like to give to everybody?
I think you just have to find your passion in life, and start by asking, what can I wake up and do without feeling irritated and without feeling bored, and that's your passion, I think.
Wonderful. And Mandar, before we end, please do talk about your Cities for Peace initiative.
Yeah, thank you. You did quite good actually in this rapid fire round.
Oh, good.
So firstly, this From India with Love documentary film is available on Amazon Prime and on Amazon.com to rent. I have screened it in over 20 cities. I have taken about 100 leaders to India after they have watched the film. The Los Angeles police chief, after hosting the premiere of this film 2 years ago, he has invited me here last year. So I have done nonviolence training in South Central Los Angeles for gang members and LAPD police officers. And my ask or my invitation for people who will watch this is take a look at that film and see if you would like to bring the educational version of that film in your own child's classroom. So what we have done is we have used that film, created a non-violence education guide that any teacher, parent, youth can bring that film as a discussion to promote peace and non-violence education in the classroom. Because, you know, as parents, we are all disturbed with school incidents.
Yes.
And the way we can positively contribute is by promoting peace and non-violence.
Wonderful.
So after watching the film, if people are interested, then you can share them the URL of the educational aspect of this project.
Awesome, Mandar. So it will quickly end. I think we just have 2 minutes left here in the meeting. So I want to thank you so much. And I want to ask all the viewers who has been watching this interview to go on Amazon Prime and watch this movie. I've watched it and it's very, very, it's positive, it's uplifting, it's heart touching. And Mandar has done a beautiful job. And Mandar, I'm so proud to call you my friend.
Yeah, same here. And those who are watching who are not from India, I invite you to try some Indian food or venture out and go to India once this corona is behind us.
Awesome.
Thank you, Vandana. All the best.
All the best. Namaste.